Hi, welcome to my channel, Taking No Action. What does it mean to take no action when manifesting? What actually does that mean? Because it's a bit scary, isn't it? It's a bit like, oh, take no action. Well, how's it going to happen if I do nothing towards it? But I'm just going to explain it in a little bit more detail and why it is the best way to work with this, because we don't butt in and we don't get our ego involved. So first of all, I'm a coach and I am an author. So my books are all available on Amazon and my coaching is available on my website. Plenty of packages on there at the moment. I had to take a while to think about how I was going to do that and how I was going to make that work for you guys. But I think that I've done that now. So that's all available over there. Okay. What does taking no action mean? Well, taking no action doesn't necessarily mean taking zero action whatsoever, but it can do. Like, say, if you're manifesting a specific person, for example, you don't take any action. Unless you're inspired to take action for some particular reason, we don't take action. Because what we don't do is take a calculated action that we're calculating with our mind. So we're thinking, okay, I think we need to do this, this and this, because your mind doesn't know. Your mind is not what's at work here when it comes to, I could call it magic, but really all that's going on here, I believe, is your internal and your external is connected. It's all part of the bigger picture. It's all part of the same picture. So there's not the internal and there's not the external. It's internal, external, but it's a whole, one whole, and it just works in harmony. So whatever is going on inside is being reflected back to you on the outside, sometimes instantly, but sometimes there is a bit of a time lag. I don't get the time thing whatsoever. I've tried to look into time and I am very interested in time, but honestly, it's such a mind bend. Even physicists don't get it. So what chance do I have? So I stopped even looking at time, because I do can work out why some things take a bit longer, but I'm not going to go into that now. Basically, just look at it like this. The external, there is a little bit of a time lag with the external, but it is all part of the whole thing. So what's going on inside is eventually going to reflect on the outside, and also often in tones of. So if you were to type something into the YouTube search, you're looking for something in particular, a sort of a topic, and you get a video up and you think, yeah, that looks cool. That's what I'm looking for. You look at it, and then you are constantly after that given back more and more and more along those lines that might be of interest to you. It's exactly what's happening here. So you're getting tones of what you are, kind of the requests that you're putting in, you're getting tones back of that. So it might not be exactly as, but there's going to be things related to the way you're feeling are going to be shown back to you. So if you take no action, what you decide to do is, I'm going to take no ego action. My brain, my mind is not going to try and work this out for me. I'm going to leave it to source. At the moment, and I change it my mind a lot about not about what I think this is about, how I call it. And at the moment, it's like the God within. So everybody has their own God. So I don't look at it like there's one God and we're all asking that God for stuff. I prefer to think of it as an internal thing. It's my God, the God within me. So I only have to ask once. I don't have to ask any more than that. So I'm asking myself, really, the God within, if it can provide this. I want this. This is what I want to experience. And you only need to say it once. So remind yourself of that, because once it's in there, it's stored, that request is there, and it's being delivered to you. In that moment, it's starting to be delivered to you if you allow it. Now, there might be action to be taken, but it is not going to be something you have to work out with your head. If there's action to be taken, you will be prompted to take that action, and then you will take that action, and it will seem very natural. You may not even know if it's something on the route to getting you what you want. You may not know that at all, or you may know it instantly that, oh, that feels inspired, that feels like the right action to take. So that is, yes, you may need to be required by whatever this is to take some action. The God within may be prompting you to take some action in order to get you to where you are going. So when I say no action, what I'm saying is no action that you have to work out, that your brain gets involved in, that your ego gets involved in. That's a whole different kind of action. And that may get you there eventually, but when those things get you there eventually, it's generally because at that point where you get there, you've kind of let go of it and you've given up. That's what's every time I look back at when I've taken calculated action, it's taken ages to get where I want to go. And at the point that I've got it, at the time I thought it's because of the action, but now I look back at that, I can see it's because I just let go of it, because I got exasperated because it just wasn't happening. And in that moment it happened. So it isn't about the work that you do, but if it's inspired, then you are being prompted by your little God inside is telling you, okay, and you can just see it's inner you. It doesn't matter, whatever works for you. But if you see it as God out here, it's like you're asking for something on the outside of you, and it becomes more like a beg for, more like a please or a plead, because it's something outside of you. But as soon as you see it as being inside of you and part of you, and it's there to do what you want, it's there to allow you to experience what you're feeling, and that is part of you, that is your makeup, that is how you have been designed. So you only need ever to ask once, or to state once, to intend once, to quote once. It's already there, and then you just go, okay, now I'm leaving it to that part of me to inspire me, to give me the action to take if I need to take action. And if no action is required, then I won't have to take any action. It will just seemingly fall into my lap. But I'm happy to take inspired action, but I will know, you will know, because it's like a nudge. You'll just suddenly think about something, some action to take, and you'll think, where did that come from? And it might be something really basic that you think, well, why didn't I think of that before? Because you just weren't ready to think of it before. It wasn't the right time to think about it before, to take that action. You're always given the inspiration at the right time. I've really found this over the years. It's at the perfect time. And sometimes I have thought, but how the hell did I not think about that before? Because it seems so obvious. And again, I just bring it back to, yeah, you didn't think about it before because it wasn't the right time to take that action. Now it is, and that's why you're getting the nudge now. But if you leave it to higher self, leave it to that part of you that you don't understand, that we all have, and you're doing that all the time. Often you're leaving it to that, but you don't know you're doing it. So you might be feeling really negative about something and always conjuring up worst case scenarios and thinking that the worst case scenario is going to happen. My mum said something at the weekend, and we were on the bus going on a park and ride, and they've got this new system, tap on, tap off, basically. And she said, oh, you know, it's terrible, they've messed it up like this. I know somebody that got charged for all these journeys and it just didn't work properly. And then she sort of said something like, oh, it'll probably charge you twice. And I said, oh, look at the worst case scenario, why don't you? She said, well, I'm always proved right. And I said, well, yeah, but, and I'm always proved right the other way, because I don't. I look at the best case scenario, and I have been proved right, and I've only been charged for one journey. And actually I tapped it quite a lot and started to almost take in what she was saying and think, yeah, maybe that, yeah, it could make sense that I could get charged more. Maybe that I should have been doing it like this, but I have only been charged once, so all is cool. Again, it's the way that you look at it. It's what's going on inside of you. So your internal God is going to give you what you're feeling, what you're thinking. If you're always thinking the worst and thinking bad luck follows me everywhere, for example, then your internal God is going to go, oh, okay, bad luck follows you everywhere. That's what you want. There you go. It's a bit more bad luck. It's a bit more bad luck. It's a bit more bad luck. I believe that 100%. There's nothing that can sway me from that. So if you just say to yourself, I only need to ask once, because it's me. Why do I need to keep asking myself over and over and over? I don't. It's just the higher part of me, the part of me that makes this stuff work, that makes reality work, and it will make it work negatively or positively, whichever way I decide. And I'm deciding with my feelings. So let's just allow it to prompt me. Let's know that I don't really know the way. I don't know. And if I'm hit with an inspiration, I will take that action. And if I'm not, I won't, because that means I don't need to. Or if you think, well, it doesn't give me, I've had no nudge for any action, well, because it's not the right time for the action. So you'll get the nudge at the right time, at that perfect time. And I think the basic stuff really proves that, how you don't think about something that seems so simple and then you do and you can't work out, well, because it wasn't the right time. So just accept that you are going to get prompted at the right time, or you are not. When it's bringing a person into your life, for example, you don't need to take any action then. Action is not required. Something is going to happen. They're going to reach out to you for some reason. You're going to bump into them. Somebody else is going to connect you, somebody in your friends group. Something is going to happen then. And I wouldn't even expect to take any action. But if something does happen, and something happens where you obviously would reach out to them, of course you would when something like this happens, just do it in that moment if it feels like the right thing to do. So again, there are no rules with this. So if you are inspired with an action to take and with a person, go with what's right for you. So go with internal me, you know, God me is saying, the God within is saying to do this now. So I'm going to accept that. But if it feels really resistant, so you think, oh, I don't know, then you start to rationalize it and work out whether you should do it or not. Then take that as a sign that it's probably your ego and not a nudge, because a nudge, you generally feel like it's the right thing to do. And sometimes you don't understand, you think, really? But it still feels right. Even though you can't make any rational sense of it, it feels right. And you can call it following your intuition if you like. Another example, so I'm writing a book at the moment and I'm really doing it for fun. It's a fiction. I haven't written anything fiction based for a long time. It's so much fun. I'm really enjoying it. I'm just doing it as a hobby. I don't know what I'm going to do with it at the end of it. I really don't know. I don't know. Again, I'm going to wait for some inspired action. But I was on a chapter and it was good. I was enjoying it, but something inside of me said, it's not the right chapter. It's not right. This one's not right. And I couldn't work out why, because it read well and it went well with the whole story. And I thought, why? And I thought, okay, that's a real strong intuition. So I deleted the whole chapter. And I didn't even feel worried about it. I've done this in the past and I've known it's always worked out. I just deleted the whole chapter, even though it was what I considered to be good and worked with the story. And I just waited. And the next day I got inspiration to start doing this chapter again. And it, oh my God, it was like, this is why I was inspired to delete the chapter before, that it wasn't right, because this was waiting in the wings and this is 100 times better, and it's got a little plot twist in there and it gave me this plot twist. And honestly, and I thought, again, it's a sign, it's the God within, or you can just call it your intuition. It doesn't matter what you call it, it's what works for you. At the moment I like the God within because that feels super powerful, and I'm really into the internal and the external, just being a whole, and I evolve with this all the time. And at the moment, I don't see external as any different than the inside. I see it as one whole, two parts of one whole thing, one whole system, if you like. So if you look at it like that, yes, you take action, but only when you're inspired to do it. So that is taking no action. That's you deciding that I will not take any action with my mind. I will not allow my ego to take action, because that is me taking charge of something that's already in the process of. And if I step in there and start taking ego action, then I'm not allowing it to unfold at the best possible time. Okay, that's it. This one could go on and on and on. I know it could, but I'm going to stop it there. Thanks so much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I'd love for you to do that.